Hello everybody and welcome to episode 71 of Unwind and Knit with me. My name is Lisa and I'm coming to you from Christchurch in New Zealand, and this is my little place on the internet world where I share with you my knitting journey and everything I've been up to in this wonderful woolly community. So today is Wednesday the 25th of June. And I would like to just say welcome back to everybody, to all my returning viewers. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. Please subscribe, please give the thumbs up, interact in any way you wish to. Leave comments. I do endeavour to get back to everybody. I read all the comments and I do reply, so feel free to leave comments. You can find me on social media, so Facebook and Instagram, Unwind and Knit with me. We have a community Facebook group that you're welcome to join. That is a closed group where you will get asked a couple of admin questions and a moderator will approve you. And that's a space where we do run promotions and giveaways, but it's a space where you can share what you're knitting, so I get to see what you're doing. So it's a really nice sweet group. I'm on Ravelry as Lisa NZ Knitter. I try to stay up to date, but I'm not great, but I do try. But Lisa NZ Knitter on Ravelry, and I have an online store which is unwindandknit.com. So to everybody that supports my little shop and my business, thank you very much. It makes a big difference. I've also just passed the 1,500 followers on Instagram, so which is for me huge. It's a big achievement. So thank you to everybody that has come over and joined me on Instagram. I do leave show notes, quite I was going to say intense. They're not intense. Quite thorough show notes. I leave references and links to anything I talk about, Ravelry patterns, yarns. I leave links to where you can find all of those. So that's in my show notes below. In this episode, I will be talking about what I'm wearing, a finished object, a couple of whips that I have on the go, a new cast on, and some potential new cast on. So some new patterns that I have come across. And at the very end of the episode, I do a small shop update just to keep you informed and up to date with what's going on in my little part-time business, which is my online store. Also, over autumn, I'm a little bit behind, right? You all know that. I've done a few trade shows in the last couple of months, but I've also had quite a few jaw and dental issues going on, which I am on the right side of, but I have been a little bit behind. But over autumn, we ran a promotion on our community Facebook group where you hashtag autumn or autumn knits, and you went in the draw to win a prize. So I have, I haven't drawn it. I've got all the names here in a bowl, and I will draw out a winner for the autumn prize. I will show you what I have put together for that prize. Sorry, there's a wee bit of cellophane. First of all, what I'll say is whoever wins it, I hope they like pink, because I've got a bit of a pink theme going on. So there is a pink leather notions pouch, which is a handmade leather notions pouch. There is a ball of New Zealand sock yarn. It's 80/20 merino nylon, and it's all spun here in New Zealand, and it has been dyed by me. So there's a ball of sock yarn. There is what I call my accessories bundle. So in here is needle tip stoppers, there's stitch on hold cords, there's stitch marking rings, there's lock-in pins and hourglass pins. So you get that bundle. And I've put it all together in this beautiful project bag that got gifted to me by the lady that made it. And I want to show that to you. It's quilted. I think it's quilted. It's got lots of pockets. It's absolutely beautiful. And then it's got a drawstring top, so it holds everything in there nicely. And it has two handles. It's a beautiful bag, and I wanted to keep it for myself, but I am seriously a bag lady. I have so many bags that it's just ridiculous, and I thought it really needs to go to a new home. So there's lots of pink going on there. That and that. So that is the prize for the autumn knit along that we had on Unwind and Knit with me. When was it? It was on the 8th of June. I attended Wool Feast, which was here in Christchurch. That's our annual yarn trade show here in Christchurch, and I just want to thank the organisers. It was a great day, and more importantly, I want to thank everybody that come and said hello and had a look at my store and what I was selling, and to everybody that purchased off me. It was a really good day. They're really big days. I'm absolutely exhausted for days afterwards, but that was the 4th one for the season. And I kind of feel like I can just relax now and get back into my knitting and my podcasting and all those things that I love. I am, what's today? Wednesday. Friday morning I'm heading away. My husband and I are heading down south, way down south, down to Invercargill, which is the very bottom of the South Island, for those of you from overseas. My husband's running in a 24-hour running event, so I will be away this weekend. We're actually away for 4 or 5 days. I don't think I'm home till Monday or Tuesday. So I'm actually really looking forward to that, but that means my pop-up shop will be closed. So do check my website if you're wanting to come. I try to open most Saturdays 10 to 2 to the public, and I normally am open, but this weekend I'm not. So check my website if you are wanting to come and visit for my opening hours. If you can't make it on a Saturday, I work from home, so I open by appointment. So you've just got to reach out. All my details are on my website, unwindandknit.com. Okay, I'm going to pause for a minute. Now, that was lots of admin-y stuff, I know, but I'm going to pause for a minute and get my coffee, and then we'll get into it. Okay, I'm really happy to share with you that I'm part of a Kiwi, we've called it a Kiwi MAL, which is a Kiwi Make Along 2025, and it's a group of 10, I'll read them out, 10 New Zealand podcasters have all got together to be part of this knit along, and it's open to anybody, New Zealand or worldwide. I will insert a little video here so you can just see some of a small slideshow about this make along that we're doing. But it's hosted by 10 New Zealand podcasters, and each of us will be donating a prize at the end of it. It runs from the 1st of June to the 31st of August. Requirements to enter is that you must create something from either a New Zealand designer or using New Zealand yarns, or both. And not just yarns, but fibres. So you may be a crocheter or a weaver, but as long as it's got a Kiwi attachment to it, whether it either be the fibre, the yarn, or the designer. It can't be whips. It has to be something that you've started from the 1st of June. And you can post your entries on Instagram using the hashtag Kiwi MAL or Kiwi MAL 2025. And for those that don't use Instagram, you can also enter on Ravelry. So one of our organisers is Marina from Strawberry Patches. She has opened up a thread on her community Ravelry group. I will leave the link for this below, so you can go on there, have a look at the thread, have a read of what other people are doing and what other people are up to, but that's where you can post your finished project. You can also post as you go, like so. You know, you might want to do 3 or 4 posts of your progress of your make along that you are doing. Now, the sponsors of this is myself. There is Marina from Strawberry Patches, Alana from Black Cat Knitting Company, Kat from Broomstitch, Kylie and Gillian from Capatina Yarn, Bex or Rebecca from Rebecca Ann Knits, Vanessa and Sue from Yarns from the South, Bibi and Stephen from Just Another Knitting Podcast, Amy from Handmade NZ, and Donna from Blind and Knitting. So that's a big group of New Zealand podcasters that are hosting this knit along. So I'm really excited about it. It's got a lot of interest and a real lot of traction and a lot of excitement. So I'm going to leave a list of all of these below. So if you are looking for new podcasts to watch or New Zealand podcasts to watch, there'll be a list of 10 of them there, or 9 plus myself. And the other thing I wanted to mention too, when I talked about this in my last podcast, I just have to make a correction, because what I said was when I started podcasting, there was no other podcasters really doing knitting podcasts in New Zealand. And then fast forward 4 years, there's a list of 10 of us. But I have to make a correction because Marina from Strawberry Patches, she's actually been podcasting for about 8 years. So she was way ahead of all of us. So I just have to make that correction. When I was replaying it and editing, I thought, I think I've got that wrong. I think that information's wrong, but I let it go. So I had to make that correction. And moving into what I'm wearing, I wanted to wear this today because I know a lot of you are making it for this Kiwi make along. What I'm wearing is the Calypso by Alana from Black Cat Knitting Company. So Alana owns a yarn store in Auckland called Loopine. I've been there a couple of times. It's a lovely wee shop, but she's also a knitwear designer. And she designed this top, the Calypso. And so if you're keen to make one of these, it certainly qualifies for the make along because she's a New Zealand designer. It's really lovely to see what other people are doing it with it. I made this, I think when she released it, maybe I'm thinking 1.5 years or 2 years ago. So this has been knitted. The colour work is spincycle. So it starts with the spincycle down. And then for the body, it's a 5-ply yarn. I think Alana used in the pattern I want to say, let me just see. She used a Rowan tweed, which is actually a DK, or it's a very light DK, so it will work as a 5-ply. I did mine using Yarnadelic, which is a true 5-ply. I'll stand up and give you a little bit of a look. So the colour I used, it's a really beautiful colour, but it's called Badi and it's in the Yarnadelic range. And just on a side note, I'm out of stock of this colour, but there is a new order. It's on its way as we speak, so I will have the stock hopefully next week. But I grabbed a couple. I mean, there's some beautiful, I hope they show up. There's some really beautiful colours in Yarnadelic, and it's probably one of my biggest selling yarns. So it's a true 5-ply, which is 100 grams is 333 metres, and a spincycle. You could also use, if you're really creative and you spin, you can spin your own yarn that has a shifting colour, and that would work as well. I have used hand-dyed yarn for colour work that shifts, and it's actually really quite effective. But this is done in spincycle and Yarnadelic. Okay, I will insert the actual photo of the pattern so you can see it. I'll insert that now. But the Calypso sweater is a circular yoke pullover that uses the magic of colour changing yarns to create an intriguing yoke design. It features sweet picot edge details on both the neckline and the hem, along with 3/4 sleeves, ribbed cuffs, and a relaxed, slightly cropped fit. Construction Calypso sweater is knit seamlessly from the top down in the round with a double rolled picot neckline, colourwork yoke. I'm repeating myself there. Okay, I don't know why I put that in there twice. It's intended to be worn with 5 to 10 centimetres of positive ease around the bust. Allino has used spincycle dyed in the wool with 5-ply or rowan tweed, which is a light DK. And I should have been following my notes because I'm repeating myself. I've used spincycle dyed in the wool paired up with Yarnadelic, the colour Badi da. So I really wanted to wear this today just to be part of the whole Kiwi make along and the whole sort of theme. I know that so many people are doing this pattern, but there are a lot of other patterns available by Kiwi designers, and you may choose to use a designer that's not from New Zealand, but pair it up with some New Zealand yarn. Okay, so that's all about what I'm wearing. In the photos that I just showed you of Allino wearing the Calypso, I actually love one of those photos because it's, you probably didn't pick up on it, but it's taken in front of a red telephone box. A lot of younger generation wouldn't even know what a telephone box is, but where Allino's shop is in I think it's Parnell, there's a red telephone box right at the front of her shop, and I think it's quite iconic. It's it kind of really stands out, and I think it's really quite neat. It's like a real blast from the past. I'm sure if I said to my daughter something about a telephone box, that she'd think that I was crazy. What's a telephone box? I remember once her saying, "What's a record player? What's a record?" I was like, oh my God, does that not make you feel so old? Okay, let's get into my finished objects. I'm just going to get a drink. Okay. I'm recording upstairs in a bedroom that's been converted into my little craft room, but my daughter has just come off 3 night shifts. So she got home about 2 hours ago, and she's in bed, and her bedroom's 2 rooms up. And I said to her, look, I'm really sorry, but I have to podcast, and I'm really aware that my voice carries. I've got quite a loud voice, it carries. She said it's all right though. She sleeps with a fan on. What does she call it? White noise, like it, and it kind of just blurs out street sounds. And you know, she said, I'm fine, Mum, go for it. But I kind of kept thinking, oh, I really should lower my voice. There's a few walls between us. Anyway, off that subject, my finished object. I am really, really thrilled with this. It's the Calm Down Cardigan by Lily Kate France. Now, I'm aware that last time I tried to show you this, it didn't show up very well because it's black. And I still don't think it's going to show up very well. I have got a studio light there on it, but it's still not showing up. What I will do is on Instagram, I did take a photo of it laid flat after I finished blocking it. I'll insert that photo so you can see it. But what I'll do now is I'll insert a photo of the actual pattern. So the Calm Down Cardigan by Lily Kate France is an elegant everyday cardigan. Every wardrobe needs luxury designer knitwear vibes with the neatest finished that you ever did see. It's done on a 22 stitch gauge, 4mm needle. So the construction, the Calm Down Cardigan is worked seamlessly from the top down. You begin work in a small saddle shoulder piece in rib, then place those stitches on hold. Then you pick up stitches and work down your front left, your back, your front right, and then you join it all up. It's quite a big brief on the construction of it, so I won't bore you with all of that. A couple of things that I loved about this pattern was the double knit band that goes right around the whole cardigan is a double knit band, but there's also some ribbing detail. I'm going to show up. There's some ribbon detail that runs here all the way down the sleeve, and then also all the way down the sides. Mine is a little bit oversized. I could have probably gone down a size. I think I did the size 3. Yeah, so I did the size 3. I did have to shorten the sleeves. The decrease rounds that I was working would have had me finishing with my sleeves too long, so I did have to do some alterations down towards my cuff to shorten the sleeve, or else it would have been too long. And when I measured my body, I don't think I really allowed for the bands, so it is a little bit longer in the body than I probably would have wished for. Be sure to try this on before you start your double knit button band, because once you start this band, trust me, you don't want to pull it out to shorten the body. And that's what happened once I started doing the band. I kind of just had this voice in the back of my head saying, you've actually done this too long. It's not as cropped as what you would normally like. But I wasn't going to go back and shorten it. So I'm just going to be happy with the fact that it's a little bit oversized. But my advice there is to be really sure that you try that on and you're happy with the length before you start your bands and allow for the bands. I loved this double knit button band, and I will do it again 100 times. I absolutely love the finish. It's so professional, and I just think it gives it a real, like a relaxed cardigan. It gives it just a little bit of elegance. What I will say is it took a lot of knitting. I was working on that button band every night, probably 3 hours, a good 3 hours a night, and it took me about 10 days. It just, I don't know if I was obviously quite slow at it, and I was quite intentional with my stitches, and I was quite intentional with my gauge, and I wanted it to be perfect. Maybe that's why it took me so long, but there was a lot of work in it, but certainly well worth it. What I will say is I did do the size 3. I did mine in the colour 03, so knit by numbers. I got perfect gauge with knit by numbers. It's a DK. It is 50% blue face Lister, 50% merino. This colour, it's like a charcoal black. It's got a lot of sort of grey fleck in it. It's not a true solid black, but it's number 3. That's the colour I did. Now, I needed 5 skeins, but I only just broke into the 5th skein. I've got more than half left. Like, I've probably got enough left to do a beanie, a matching beanie, which I will probably do. But if you were doing the size 3 or 4 and you were shortening the length a bit, you would probably get a come down cardigan out of 4 skeins, but definitely 5 at the most. The other thing, what will I say here? Do as I say, not as I do. Is that the saying? So the dilemma of being a owner of a yarn store is that you quite often get the odd 1 or 2 skeins that are at end of a dye lot, and I quite often special them out in packs, and that's what happened with this. I had 1 skein that was an end of dye lot from a previous batch, and I didn't want to waste it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to use it. I'm not likely to sell it because most people buy in sweater quantities, so I used a skein from a different batch number, and I can guarantee you that you could lay that out in the most brightest of lights and you will not pick it. And I think that's the beauty of commercial dyed yarns. But I would never recommend it. I would never send you a pack of yarn with mixed dye lots, because you never know. But what I will say is the whole button band is done in that odd skein, and most of both the sleeves are done in a skein that's a different dye lot. So, you know, it's worth a try. Never waste a skein. Normally I would say alternate it, so you know, 1 or 2 rows, drop one and pick up the next. That's what my intention was, is that I was going to alternate the skeins, but when I got to that 5th skein, it was actually the sleeves and the button band, and I couldn't alternate, so I just thought, you know, go with it. I really did. I put it down in front of the window where there was really natural light, and I couldn't pick a difference, and I still can't pick a difference. So that's my little story with that. Yep, I use number 3, Knit by Numbers John from John Urban Textiles. I have around 40 odd of the colours, so if you are tempted to do the Calm Down cardigan, there'll definitely be a colour there that you would like, I'm sure. As I said before, I have got an order on its way, and I have stocked up on some of the more popular colours like the navy, the blacks, the browns, those neutral colours that sell quite well. Okay, I'm sorry that that's really not showing up. I wish it was. I mean, from what I see, it's not showing up, but sometimes I'm surprised that when I play back and do the edit, it does show up. But what I see in my little screen isn't a real true reflection of everything. So I will insert a photo here of it laid down flat, so you can actually pick up a little bit of the detail of it. What I will say about Lily Kate France is her patterns are really well written. They're very precise. She has video tutorials. I really actually rate her as a designer. And that Calm Down cardigan, she does a bit of a series of Calm Down. So there's a Calm Down jersey. There might be a Calm Down vest. There's a couple of Calm Downs. You know, designers do that. They do one and then they do a series of them. So check her out. I will leave the link below though for this pattern if you want to jump onto Ravelry and have a look at it. It's a paid for pattern. Okay, I'm going to go into my first work in progress that I have shown you, but I have made a little bit of progress on it. I might actually put it on the mannequin. Okay, I'll pause for a sec. I have just done a quick wardrobe change because I thought I'd try to show you this cardigan because I really do love it, even though it's quite oversized. A couple of the things which are detailed that I really like is there is, let's see if I can show you this. There is a little bit of shape in here at the bottom, which is really nice before the first button. And the other thing, when you're doing this double knit button band, there's short rows which create the curves, and also around the collar there's short rows that are incorporated into the double knit band, so it just curves beautifully. That button band just curves really, really nicely. So like I said, you can't really see, it's a bit longer than what I thought in my mind. I wanted it to be a bit more cropped. And the sleeves are also a little bit long. So I should have really done the size 2, and I should have tried it on a bit more as I was going. My fault. I don't mind. I haven't got an oversized cardigan like this, and I actually feel really good in it. It just feels like a really big snuggly hug. I'd wear this with jeans. At the moment I've got a denim skirt on and tights, and I feel quite put together in it, like just over a t-shirt. So yeah, it's my Calm Down cardigan. Okay, the other thing too, I have to keep an eye on the time. I'm going to have to pause this towards the end. I've got an appointment with a specialist, and you know what they're like. You can't cancel it. It take like 6 months to get in. So I'm going to have to pause this halfway through, shoot away to my appointment, and then come back and finish filming. But that's all right. You won't notice that. It'll be a slight pause. So what I've got up here is the Northwood V-neck, and this pattern is by Jessie Maed. And I really wanted to do stripes, and I really wanted something really relaxed and playful. and this pattern kind of just ticked all those boxes. I love a deep V because it does give me options to wear it over a t-shirt or with nothing under it in the summer or the warmer months, but I can also layer it in the winter. So I do love the deep V, and like I said, I really wanted to play with colour. I'm doing this in the same yarn as I did this in, which is the Knit by Numbers DK. I'll insert a photo of the pattern here so you can see an actual pattern photo. Jessie Maed's design patterns are all size inclusive. It goes up to a 62-inch chest. This is an 18 stitch gauge, so it's quite relaxed, and it's done on a 4.5mm needles with a DK yarn. A bit about the construction: it's knitted seamlessly from the top down with shoulder short row shaping, tapered sleeves. Stitches are picked up for the sleeves and the neckline. This can be knitted cropped or full length with as much negative or positive ease as you like. So there's lots of options. This is, what I will say, it's a drop shoulder, and normally on a jersey I prefer a raglan. I think it just fits nicer and it's a little bit more formal. But this is a drop shoulder, and I'm really good with that because I wanted this jersey to be a bit more relaxed and playful and not so formal. Yeah, be sure to check out the project page on Ravelry and see what other people have done with this pattern. It has been quite a popular pattern. So I've actually used 6 colours. The colours I've used, I will leave them listed in my show notes below, but the rust is, I've started at the top, it's number 16, the aqua's number 97, the dark brown is number 7, the orange is number 13, the white, which is actually the undyed yarn, is 55, and then the navy is 123. I'll leave them listed below. Oh, where am I? I've lost my notes there. Yeah, so I've used 6 colours. She does give instructions in the pattern for 6 colours. I think there might be 2 or 3 versions in the pattern. I think she also does a 2-colour pattern where she actually tells you how many rows of each colour to do and when to change the colours. So I think last time I showed you this I may have just joined the body. So the progress I have made is I have almost finished that sleeve, and I have started the sleeve, the second sleeve here. So I have done that right down to the end of the decreasing, and then I'll do that, and then I'll finish the body. Actually, once I finish the sleeves, I'll do the V-neck, and then I'll do the body last. So that is my Northwoods V-neck. Good, good, good. Okay, my next whip. I have got everything with me. Here it is. Sorry, I just have to get it out of the plastic. Okay. So this, I wanted to cast this on as part of my Kiwi make along. I'm pretty sure I touched on it in my last episode, but it's the Quartet beanie. And what I love about this beanie is it can basically be worn 4 ways, which is why it's called the Quartet. And I'm doing this because it's very Kiwi. So it's a Kiwi designer. It has... I even written it there. Good to Go Knit Design is the designer, and I'm using a merino possum, which I think is, why aren't my notes? I'm sure I've got it there. I'll read down further. I'm using merino possum, and I'm using a handmade possum pom-pom to go on the top. So that's that there. And I think it's going to look really, really cool. I'll insert a photo of the pattern so you can actually see what I'm talking about. But so the Quartet beanie, it was designed in a DK weight yarn. And it's named after the 4 ways that it can be worn. So it's reversible. The pattern is reversible, and you can wear it with the brim up. Or you can wear it with the brim down and it's a little bit more slouchy. The pattern does, though, also include the directions for fingering weight and worsted weight. So three types of yarn. So the pattern actually includes quite a lot. The reversible stitch pattern in the design is based on a rib but altered to include slip stitches. It looks great both sides, so it's reversible. Fun to knit. The stitch pattern quickly becomes very intuitive. She says here, you might just find it a bit more exciting on the needles than a standard ribbed beanie. Okay. I haven't made much progress on this. I have literally just done the band, part of the band. But I think this is what I'm going to take away with me this weekend. And I do want to post some photos once I start the body to show you. And I will post those in the hashtag Kiwi MAL and also on the Ravelry link. So that is my Kiwi MAL, one of my Kiwi MAL projects, and it's 100% Kiwi, being the designer and the yarn. I have actually got on my website, and I'll leave the link below, that yarn already wound and ready to knit with the pom-pom as a wee little set. So if you just search possum yarn or possum beanie, it'll come up and you can actually buy that as a wee set. These, I think I've talked about these before. These are also made by a local, a friend of mine down south. She makes these by hand. So yeah, I think they're pretty cool. I've kind of lost my train of thought now because I've keeping my eye on the time, because I know I'm going to have to split the recording. And the sun's just come up, which is really nice. It was quite overcast. It might actually get a bit too glary, I'm not sure. So my second whip, there's a story behind this. It's always a story. I spent so much time yesterday preparing all my notes, and I haven't written the actual name of the pattern. I'm going to pause for a minute and sort my notes out. Okay, so my next cast on I have chosen as part of the Kiwi MAL has been designed by a Kiwi designer called Elizabeth, and she goes under the name of Amikihia Knits, which in Te Reo Māori means stories told in detail. Now this pattern is called the Kanapu, and it has been on my radar for quite a while. I'll insert a photo of the pattern here so you can see it. Now the yoke is cast on, short rows are worked before increases, and a simple but effective lace panel is worked, reflecting the light dancing through those fresh spring leaves. That's where the name Kanapu has come from. The yoke is finished, the sleeves are separated before the body is worked straight down with no shaping and a simple hem. The sleeves are worked straight to a 3/4 length with no shaping before a decrease round is worked, and then a simple rib cuff. There are two options for the neckline: either no neckband, but you can go back and pick up stitches if you wish to close that neckline in a bit with a small ribbed neckband. Now I wanted a summer version of this, and I didn't want the fluff, so Elizabeth has designed this with a double-stranded silk mohair or alpaca. There's like a lot of fluff in it, but I wanted to do a summer version of it. and I wanted to use a yarn that I have called Allino, which is 50% cotton, 50% linen. Now, I didn't want the fluff. I wanted a summer top, and I wanted it to be cool and breezy. So basically I threw caution to the wind and I just cast it on. I just went for it. I thought, I'll just do the yoke, see what it looks like, see how the stitch definition looks using this yarn. I will try it on, and I'm going to hope for the best. So what I have done, and I'm absolutely thrilled, and sometimes these things pay off and sometimes they don't. So this is it's actually a DK, so 50 grams is 125 meters. So if you look at the meterage, it sits in the range of a DK. The pattern is written for a 4-ply or a fingering weight yarn, but at a very loose gauge. And that's why I thought I'm just going to go with it and see how I go. Just fingers crossed and hope for the best. So I have cast on, and I have done only the first section of lace work. Now, yeah, that's showing up quite nice. The stitch definition is absolutely gorgeous. Like, that lace work is showing up so nicely. The linen and the cotton, have I done a 4.5mm needle? I kind of feel like my notes aren't that thorough for some reason, but I did put a lot of work into them. Okay. Go to my old trusted knitting journal. I'm doing the size 2 on a 4mm needle. I will probably stick with this neckline that is basically no ribbing at all. I like a wide neckline, and because I want it for summer, I want it quite airy and breezy. And I'm going to do it short sleeved. I probably won't even do the 3/4. I will probably do it short sleeve. And it's looking really good. I'm actually really happy with it. I have, like I said, I've broken all the rules. I didn't do a swatch. I didn't do anything. I just caution to the wind. Let's just cast it on and go. Worst thing that can happen is it's not going to work out and I'll pull it back. And I kind of thought I would know by this stage whether it was going to work out or not, and I feel like it is working out. I had this yarn in my stash, so that made it easier just to make that decision of just go with it. I purchased this yarn to do a top about a year ago. You might remember it was called the Love Letter, and I just couldn't get gauge. I tried so many options, and at the end I just flagged it. I thought I was just not meant to knit that particular top. I like this colour. It's quite a neutral. I think I've got about 10 colours in the range, but I've got like the whites and the creams and the navies and a lot of the sort of basic colours. And the other thing I love about this yarn is it's actually really quite affordable. I think it's around, I'm going to guess the $14 mark, $13.95 maybe. And I don't think I'm going to need, I don't even think I'm going to need 6 balls. I'll let you know. I will keep you posted on my progress with this. It's pretty, isn't it? And it's really easy. It's written. It's not a graph. It's a written pattern, and it's really just a series of yarn over, slip one, pass, knit one, pass, slip stitch over. It's very, very easy lace pattern to do. So I haven't got much colour going on, have I? But they're my 2 Kiwi MALs. They're both New Zealand designers. This one's New Zealand designer and New Zealand wool. So I feel quite thrilled about that. I am starting to feel a vibe of wanting to get a couple of things done for summer, a bit of summer knitting. I actually just have this urge to just want to knit with different fibres other than merino, other than just wool. I really want to do a bit more with linen, linen cotton, the linen and baby yak that I've got. That's what I did. I thought when I cast this on, there were a couple of options, and I thought I'll just give them to you in case you're keen. Have a look at this pattern, the Kanapu, but the Allino would work beautiful for it, and it would be beautifully soft and drapey. So that's the wool baby yak linen. That's the Allino. And the other one that would work for it is the Erica Knight Studio Linen. I've got over 4 or 5 colours in that, but I recently knitted a Hohilokatali Adira top in this Studio Linen. It was really nice, and it draped beautifully after it was blocked. So there are some options there for some different blends that aren't wool, that aren't merino, that would be perfect for that pattern, and you can really make it into a nice summer drapey top. Yeah, so that's my Kanapu. Now the next one, this is a new cast on, and I'm actually keep looking at the clock. I'm actually really excited to show you this one, but I'm actually going to pause here. I'm going to run off, and I'm going to go to my appointment, and I'm going to come back and get back into it. At the moment I feel like I'm a little bit distracted, so hopefully I can come back and be 100% engaged. I'll see you soon. Okay, so I'm back. I've actually been to an appointment. I've come back, and I wore my Calm Down cardigan for the first time, so it was its debut outing, and I have to say I do actually feel quite stylishly, why am I having trouble saying that word? I actually feel quite put together with style. So I am actually happy with it. I had concerns that it was a little bit oversized, but I actually feel quite good in it. And the sun's out, but it's like a really crisp 10 degrees. We had quite a hard frost this morning. So it's quite cold outside, and I've just got a long sleeve white t-shirt underneath and I just feel snug, and so there you go. I can report back that it actually fits really quite nicely, and I'm happy with it. Okay, so let's get back into it. I do hope this podcast is coming across and it's flowing, because for me it actually feels quite disjointed. I feel like I'm all over the place, which is just a reflection of where my head's at the moment, but I hope that it's coming across okay. So this next new cast on I saw on Instagram, and I saw Isabel Kramer wearing it, and I just knew that I needed one of those in my wardrobe. And do you ever see a pattern and you look at it and you just know that that's my style, that's me, I want that? And believe it or not, it's a dress. I'm going to knit a dress, and it's called the Savile dress. And so the Savile, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, dress by Ankestrick. I first saw on Instagram. And Isabel Kramer referred to it as a fast, easy, relaxing knit. It's basically you just knit the back, knit the front left and the right left, and then join in the round, and then it's all stock and stitch. So I did my swatch, and happy with that. What I'll do before I go on is I'll actually insert the photo so you can have a look at a photo of the pattern. And what I love about it is I can dress it like down for summer, like with a white t-shirt and my white runners, but in the winter I could dress it with tights and ankle boots. So I think it's really versatile. I'll insert a photo now. It's described as the Savile dress is classic yet sophisticated. My goal was an easy to wear garment to feel cozy and comfortable, but also well dressed. So easy to dress up or down all year long. The Savile dresses work seamlessly from the top down. Start working back and forth to the length of the armholes. Then pick up stitches and work both fronts symmetrically to the length of the V-neck. Then all the pieces are joined to work in the round with a built-in pocket down to the bottom for the ribbing. So there are 9 sizes, so it goes from 102 to 174 centimetre. That's finished bust circumference. It has been designed to wear with about 30 centimetres of positive ease. Depending on your knitting gauge, a 4 to a 4.5 mil needle. I am doing the size 4 and I'm doing it on a 4.5 mil needle. My gauge was a little bit tight, but after wet blocking I managed to get gauge. But I did also think that I wanted that positive ease, so I probably could do a size 3, but I'm going to do the size 4. Now, she's recommended 2 different yarns, and the yarn that I've chosen is the Rowan Soft Yak DK. Now, this is 76% cotton, 15% yak, and 9% linen. I'll just read what it says about this yarn. Soft Yak DK transcends the seasons thanks to its blend of cotton, yak and nylon. It is stunningly soft handle and it is static resistant and antimicrobial, which means the fabric stays fresher for longer. It's a chain neck construction which makes it surprisingly light. Yes, surprisingly light for a cotton rich double knit yarn. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this chain construction. I come across it. I bought some yarn that was chain construction when I was in Canada last year, and it's almost like it was described to me as being like a chain net and then they blow air into it, which makes it quite light and lofty. So it does have a completely different handle. So I showed you before the Allino, which is 50% cotton. It feels like a heavier, denser yarn, where this does feel lighter and airier, and it's because of that chain neck construction. Now, I couldn't get this here in New Zealand, and I didn't want a yarn substitute because I thought it's a dress. I need to use the right yarn. I don't know how to substitute a yarn that's going to have that same sort of drape and wear for a dress. So I actually got together with a couple of friends and we did an order from a place in the UK called Laughing Hens, and they stocked this and they had it for 30% off. I paid, just so you know, I've allowed 12 balls, $14.80 New Zealand. So it's going to cost me $177 to knit this dress, which I think is quite reasonable because I've spent that to knit a cardigan. And what I will say is the 3 of us combined the freight cost, and I think it cost us about $14 each. So that's pretty good. I can't send a parcel to the North Island for much less than $14. The other thing that we ordered, and this is a project I'll share with you maybe in my next podcast, but we ordered this Drops Air, and these are the 2 colours I've got, a really bright pink and a denim blue. And I won't go on about this too much because I haven't got the pattern to show you, but myself and a couple of friends were doing a bit of a knit along using this Drops Air. So the parcel was quite a big box because there was this plus 3 sweater quantities, 4 sweater quantities of the Drops Air, and my Rowan Soft Yak DK. So it was quite a big box of yarn. It cost us $14 each. So that's what I've done. Yeah, I'm doing the size 4, which is a finished bust circumference of 129 centimetres, which my bust is around 100 centimetres, so that's going to give me that 30 centimetre of positive ease. And the colour I'm using is called Taupe. But I haven't got a lot to show you, in all honesty, but I will show you. I have started it. So I've cast on here for the back neck, and there's some shaping going on, and I'm knitting down to the underarm length, and then I will pick up here and do the front and right fronts. And it's easy, easy peasy. It's just stock and stitch with some increasing and some decreasing. And I watched a wee video of Isabel Kramer, and she cast this dress on with, in her mind was, I need something easy to chill out with. I need some mindless knitting that I can just do because it's all just stock and stitch. So I thought this will be a great project to have when I'm watching TV or with people where I want to be knitting but I don't need to concentrate. So I'm really excited that I'm going to knit my first dress. I'd like to have it ready for summer, but who knows, because as you can see, I've got a whole lot of other projects going on. But yeah, so that's the Savile dress. And like I said, I mean, I'm all for supporting local businesses. I very rarely buy yarns from overseas. I buy imported yarns, of course, but from retailers here in New Zealand. But I thought every now and then I'd get with a group of friends if you need to. If I just wanted to knit with something different than our same that we always knit with. So that's my Savile dress. Now, I'm very excited about this new cast on. I haven't cast it on. Haven't cast it on yet, but I'm just going to get the yarn. I might pause because it's in cellophane and I don't like the crinkle. Okay, so my new cast on that I want to cast on within the next week or two is a Celestia top by Zanetti Knits. I'm just going to say here, I've always pronounced it Zanetti because it's spelt Z-A-N-E-T-E, but I watched her on one of her tutorials and it's pronounced Janet, not Zanet. So just a correction there, it's Janet Knits, but it's spelled Zanet, which also brings me to the subject. Over the last few months, I was showing you the crochet top that I had been crocheting, and I was referring to it as the Tropez, T-R-O-P-E-Z, where one of my viewers come through and said it's actually pronounced Tropez. So it's French. So apologies for anyone that didn't like my pronunciations, but it was Tropez, not Tropez. But anyway, the Celestia top by Jeanette Knits, I saw on Instagram and I thought I really wanted it, and I really like her as a designer. I'll insert a photo of it here so you can see the actual photo of the pattern, and I will just give you a quick brief. So meet the Celestia top, where ancient traditional meets a bold modern vibe. This seamless top-down yoke design is all about knitting a statement while staying totally wearable. With short sleeves, double layered hems and a never-ending colour work motif. Celestia is the perfect summer knit for anyone who loves colour and doesn't want the fun to stop. The motif itself is inspired by my Latvian roots, a sun symbol connected by a web of intricate branches. It's got a meditative rhythm to knit, and the larger blocks of solid colour provide that unique visual impact. If you're feeling adventurous, try using colour changing yarn for the magical effect, spincycle or 2-colour combination, but be sure that they are contrasting colours for the best effect. If you're into clever techniques, this is a perfect project for practicing the ladder jacquard to handle those long floats. Isn't it gorgeous? Now it comes in 9 sizes, so it's a 91.5 centimetre up to 171, so I think that fits in the size inclusive range, and it's designed to be worn with 10 to 15 centimetres of positive ease. Now I once again had a bit of a splurge and I treated myself, and I bought some spincycle. I bought this from Alana's shop, Loopine in Auckland, and the colour that I bought is called Fine Line, and I'm going to show that to you, and I actually think it's one of the colours that she used in her sample. When I look at this through what I'm seeing, it's quite dark, so I'm hoping it comes up, but it's definitely pinks and blues and Yeah. So I had to buy 3 skeins of this, and it's designed to be paired up with another 5-ply yarn, and it just so happens that my Yarnadelic is 5-ply. These two work perfect together. They're what I was wearing before in my Calypso top. So I am going to use, it's called Ordinary Joe. It's actually the undyed Yarnadelic, so it's a creamy neutral, and that's my colour work. Yep, that's all my notes. So I'm really quite excited about casting this on. I have, we've started to pack because we're heading away tomorrow, but I have left my ball winder out because I thought after I've podcast, I'm actually going to go and wind this yarn. I've been holding off winding it until I got to show it to you. But, so I've got that. I've got a few whips on the go. I've got my my Amikihia knit summer top. I've got my dress. I'm not going to get too obsessed with my dress. I want that just to be a project that I can pick up when I just feel like doing stock and stitch. So I have got a few whips on the go, but this one I am really excited for, and this one I definitely want for summer, spring and summer. If you go onto Ravelry and have a look at that pattern and scroll down, you can actually click on a video where Jeanette has done a wee talk through tutorial about her inspiration for the design and some of the techniques that she's used, and it's really helpful if you think you might want to do it. The other option too, and you would have seen in those photos, the Ravelry photos, you don't have to use spincycle. You can just use 2 colours as long as they're quite contrasty. So have a look at Yarnadelic if you're keen, but you don't want to use spincycle. So that's black gold in the sun with flowers in the garden, which are, it's like a black with flecks of gold, and then that gold I think would look stunning. But then there's there's just some really beautiful jewel colours like those. So that's a really deep rust, and that's a beautiful jewel blue, and you could match that up with Ordinary Joe as your contrast. So it's a beautiful 5-ply yarn if you are tempted to do it, and even if you are tempted to do it with spincycle, that's an option that you can use for your main colour. Okay, so that is going to be a new cast on before I see you next time, because I'm really excited to actually cast that on. I enjoy colour work. The good thing with that is you're only ever working with 2 strands at one time. I don't think I'm going to do the ladder back jacquard technique, and the reason I say that is because I'm quite comfortable catching my floats when it's a long float without having to introduce a new technique. I'm just going to stick with what I do because I know my floats are always fine and it doesn't pucker up too much. So I suppose it depends on your technique and how your knit colour work as to whether you think you might want to introduce that technique. I did have a look at it once on YouTube, and I actually couldn't get my head around it. And I'm sure it's just not that hard because a lot of people have done it. But I thought what I do works for me, so I'm going to stick with that. But yeah, it is a nice opportunity to use a new technique if you wanted to. She does do really good tutorials. She said, I saw in one of her videos recently, she's been designing for 6 years. She's coming up to her 6th year anniversary, and she's done over 100 designs. So she's quite accomplished. I will leave the links below so you can go and search her on Ravelry and have a look. Okay, so now this next cast on, it's quite different for me from a lot of what I normally do, and it was inspired by a customer. So I've got a customer that comes here into my shop, and she's a big fan of Jamieson and Smith's Shetland wool, and she does a lot of beautiful colour work. She's a very, very talented knitter. And she was knitting this jersey called the Paul Klee sweater by Midori Hiroshi. And I really liked it. And she really gave me, it really just encouraged me to think, I want to do that. There are just so many options. And we played around with a bit of colour because she was selecting colours. She'd already started it, but she just wanted to introduce a couple of more colours. And after she left, I got my, I have 2 big baskets that I have in my shop of Jamieson and Smith sample balls. And they're purely so people can put them out on the floor and mix and match and play with colour, you know, to select what they wanted. And that's exactly what I did after she left. I started playing around with a bit of colour. What I will do before I keep going on is I will insert a photo of the pattern so you know what I'm talking about. And I'll do that now. And I'll just tell you a bit about it. This has been on my to-do list for a while. After I've seen a customer of mine doing it. I saw her at Woolfest in Christchurch. And she said, have you done it yet? And I went, no, but I'm going to. So I was sort of encouraged to come home and want to do it. So it's done using 4-ply Shetland wool with a 22 stitch gauge. Now, a sweater inspired by Paul Klee's paintings. You'll play with colours and develop their combinations with square motifs. You can mix and match many colours or use just a few. The sweater is light thanks to the gauge, much looser than traditional ferrule sweaters. There are 16 sizes available from child right through to large adult. It does also give you the option to do a turtleneck or like a crew neck, and I am not a turtleneck person. I don't like things around my neck. What I've decided to do, and this is because I saw this customer of mine, she had done it. She cast on using just a provisional cast on, and then she'll go back and decide what sort of collar she wants afterwards, depending on how it sits once it's finished. So I'm going to do the same thing. And I've wanted to do, there's a really neat provisional cast on that you can do using your stitch on hole cords, you know, those rubber cords that I sell. What I will do, if you are keen to do a provisional cast on, I will leave the link to the video that shows this, how to do this provisional cast on with cords. It's really, really easy. So I'm going to do a provisional cast on and work the yoke and the body and then decide afterwards what sort of neckline that I want. I'm just going to read what I've written in my notes. Shetland wool is a yarn that needs to be tried. It's not soft to the skin like merino, but is designed to be worn as outerwear, so vests, cardigans and sweaters. Garments knitted up in Shetland wool will last generations and can be handed down. They are warm, they are durable, they don't... When I've worn them, I don't feel like I overheat like I do with merino. They keep you warm, but at the same time, they're quite light and airy to wear. So I think a lot of people look at it and go, oh, I couldn't wear that, it's scratchy. It is a bit scratchy. It's the reason this is perfect for colour work and for Shetland ferrule type knitting is it's what I don't like to use the word scratchy, I like to use the word grippy. So it grips well onto each other, so your floats sit really nice when you're doing colour work. The fact that they come in these small 25 gram balls means you can really play with colour. I'm going to show you some of the colours. I'm probably going to do the body in the undyed, just the undyed white is probably going to be my main colour. And you're only ever working with, so there's 2 blocks for each section and there's 4 sections. So Jamieson and Smith do this range of colours that are called FC, like FC11, FC22. FC stands for fashion colour. but a lot of them are quite mottled or muted, and they just are soft and they work so well together. So I just thought I'd show you a few colours. If you're not familiar with the range, I carry about 72 colours, but if you can picture those blocks, these are the colours I'm going to put in my blocks. So that's they're called numbers, so I'm not going to bother telling you the numbers, but it's a soft mauve and a bluey purpley colour. So that's going to be one lot of stripes, not stripes, blocks. And then I'm going to do these two here, which are probably like two different shades of a peachy and an orangey colour. That's going to be my next row. And then I'm going to do these two, and this is like a green with flecks through it, and this is like a minty green. So that's going to be my third row. And then on my fourth row, I'm going to go a little bit contrasty, and I'm going to go this soft peach. It's like a peach pink with a bit of a denim blue. And I'm going to see. No, I'm not going to be able to. I can hold them up, but not in a row. When I work on this, I will make sure to put progress photos on our Facebook group. But they're all the colours that I'm going to use. So there's 8 of them for those 4 rows of colour work. But you can go bright, you can go really subtle. There was one photo that I saw where it was all just in really light greys. Like there wasn't a pop of colour. It was really, really subtle colour change. So what I encourage you to do, if you do want to try a bit of Shetland wool to do some colour work, this is a perfect colour work for beginners if you're just getting into colour work, because your floats are only 4 or 5 stitches, so you don't have to catch floats, and you're only ever working with 2 colours. And I just think it would be a really nice introduction to Shetland wool if you haven't used Shetland wool before. So that is the Paul Klee sweater by Midori Hirose. Midori Hirose is the publisher of, it's either Ranunculus or Love Note. I always get the two mixed up. But yeah, a well-established publisher of patterns. So I really hope that I've inspired even one person to try a bit of Shetland wool. What have I knitted? I've got a vest that I wear that's been done in Shetland wool. I've got a cardigan. I do the Shetland wool week beanies every year. I don't use it enough, and that's why when I saw this pattern, I thought, yeah, I didn't want to do like a big Marie Wallen project. I haven't got my head in that space for a long time to be able to do a project like that, but I think this will be quite a bit of fun. So have a look at it, Paul Klee, and follow my progress. I will, sorry, I've lost where I'm up to on my notes. Between my spincycle garment, that will be on my list of new cast-ons in the future as well, with all that spare time I get. Oh, in the perfect world, I hate to say it, but wasn't lockdown fun when we just were forced to sit home and knit for days and days and weeks on end? But I don't mean that. I don't want us to go back into lockdown. Right, I think I've pretty well finished all of my knitting stuff. Oh, I need to draw the prize. I need to draw the winner, and I want to do a shop update. I've showed you the prize. What I didn't mention is the maker of that bag. She sells on Etsy, and I think her main craft is that she designs beads. Is it called bead weaving? But anyway, she's a knitter and a sewer, and she sells her things on an Etsy store, and it's Susan Arangi Designs. I will leave the link below, if you want to go and see what else Susan makes. But that's that beautiful bag with that drawstring top and with all those pink goodies. So I'm going to draw a prize. So if you had two entries on the thing, your name is in here twice. What I have to say is we cannot deliver. The courier company that I use for overseas delivery is DHL, and for some reason, I think it's some industrial dispute or something, DHL are no longer delivering from New Zealand to Canada. So yeah, if you are from Canada, I'm going to have to think of another way, use another freight company to get it to you. But everyone's got a name in there. And I'm just going to pick one at random. And it's Kerry Randall. So Kerry, I better leave that out. Kerry Randall, contact me via my website, unwindandknit.com, and I'll get that prize to you. And I just really hope you like pink, because if you don't, maybe you can gift it or do a yarn swap with someone else. So that's the winner for that. I'm not going to do a winter promotion because we're doing the Kiwi MAL, which runs over winter. Once again, thank you to everybody that's got behind and supported that. It's a lot of fun, and it's just so encouraging to see so many like-minded people, like especially us 10 podcasters, getting together and actually doing something as a collective. It's so exciting. So yeah, I hope you want to be part of that. I'm going to do a quick shop update. I have put a couple of things on special. It's in here. So I showed you that accessories bundle. I've been selling these for $35, and I made up a lot for the yarn festivals that I've just finished, and they went really well, but I do have some left over. So I've taken 20% off them, so they come down to $28. So there's a lot of accessories there for $28. And what I love about these is they're all in their own individual reusable container, and I have these little containers floating around the bottom of my knit bag. They are really useful. So if you just search accessories bundle, they will be there for $28. And the other thing I've put on special, because I want to make some room to do some new dyeing, is I've taken 20% off my New Zealand woolen spun sock yarn. So this yarn is grown and spun here in New Zealand, and it's dyed by me. And I have already wound them, and they will come to you like this, already wound in a cake. And they are also 20% off. So they're from 35 down to 28. And if you just search New Zealand sock yarn, that should come up. So they're the two specials I have. I did want to tell you, because I can't remember if I said it in my last one, I have restocked of Eucalan wool wash in the 100ml and the 500ml. That's all back in stock. Now, so I have an order on the way. I know I've got a couple of customers that have been waiting for Yarnadelic in a couple of colours that I've been sold out of. So keep an eye on my website over probably the next 5 to 7 days. It should be dispatched. I paid for it, so I'm hoping it's on its way. So they're normally maybe about 10 days it should arrive. Okay, the other thing, John Urban Textiles, Chalgu, a couple of Jameson and Smith, which are the big brands that I keep, they've all had price increases, and it's just the sad reality of it is everything's going up because freight's going up and raw materials and costs are going up. I've not yet passed on those price increases. Chalgu is gone up. If you want to stock up on, if there's bits and pieces you want on Chalgu, get it sort of now, because when I get my next order, I'm going to have to actually implement those price increases. I'm going to try to keep my Jameson and Smith and my John Urban textiles at the same price, but heads up, moving forward there may be price increases. And once again, I just want to say thank you to everyone that is supporting the Kiwi MAL. The support has really been amazing, and I feel blessed to be part of this amazing group of podcasters. I am going to leave all the names of the other 9 below in my show notes, so you can jump on and have a look at some more podcasts if you haven't already. I'm guessing that if you watch me, you probably know of who else is out there. Thank you to everyone that supports my small online business. It means a lot, and it just means that it enables me to do what I do by having that small part-time business and income. So thank you very much. Like I always say, there's a lot of podcasts out there. So if you've chose to spend your time with me, thank you very much. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give it the thumbs up if you like the content. And do check my website if you're wanting to come to my shop on Saturdays, because I'm away this weekend. Actually, I'm going to try to take some photos. It's been a long time since I've been down to Invercargill, and my husband's doing this 24-hour run, so he's just going to run round in circles. I'm going to try to make a trip out to Winton to see Diana, who has a little shop, and I know they have a knit group, and I did reach out to her, but I don't think I'm going to be there for her knit group. But I think she said, yeah, reach out and I'll make a time, and even if we just catch up for coffee, that'll be really nice. I'm really looking forward to going down to Invercargill. I'll tell you all about it on my next episode. This run that he's doing, just so you know, it's a really cool concept. So it goes for 24 hours and you run as much or as little as you want. So I don't know, there may be like 6 or 7K loops. And I mean, you can do 3 loops, go to the pub and have a beer and go back and do another 3. There's no rules. It's just you testing yourself to how much you can run in a 24-hour period. I won't tell you what my husband's hope is to do because I don't want to jinx him, but I'll tell you all about it on my next podcast. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. I know that my episodes have been a bit stretched out over the last few months, but thanks for your patience. Thanks for sticking with me. And like I say, stay happy, stay healthy. Hope you get lots of knitting done, and I'll see you all in a few weeks. Bye for now.